Hey there, everyone. It's Joe from Ainslie's Gold Silver Standard Insights for TA Tuesday, where I take a quick look at the price of gold, silver, and one of the cryptos as well. And today I'm going to look at reserve, and I will do a very brief introduction of what that is, and we'll also take a look at the price action over the last months and year or so. So just before we head over to the gold price, of course, I need to plug the Ainslie YouTube channel. That is youtube.com/Ainslie Bullion. Even though we do cryptocurrency based stuff now, the channel URL is still youtube.com/Ainslie Bullion. But we're just called Ainslie these days because we do inhabit both worlds these days in the 21st century. So what I get you to do is check out a bunch of videos. Of course, we do our weekly Wednesday bullion specials, so you definitely want to be subscribed to be the early bird for those. We do wonderful interest stories as well. Of course, the GSS Insights videos Monday to Thursday with the team. That's Chris Tipper right there, interviewing Alex Hutchinson right there. That's myself, of course, as the sort of DJ host, and a lot of other things. In particular, I wanted to highlight Chris Tipper's new charts videos, the crypto buy-sell signals videos, which come out 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, where he uses his own proprietary trend-following strategies and he places real trades on the screen, and they're real trades too. So he's putting his money where his mouth is. So I think that's a really good thing. I'll put a link above to that playlist right now, so you want to check those out. And of course, all the other excellent bullion-related stuff that we do on the channel. It does pay to subscribe. Hit the big red subscribe button right there. Gold. Okay, enough of the plugging. Let's take a look at gold. Again, this I always show it on the macro, going all the way back to the 60s. So here's where we are right now. We'll pop into the weekly and the daily. It's looking a little precarious. We don't give financial advice here, but if we just take a quick look on the monthly time frame, not looking great at the moment, in my humble opinion. Again, we don't give buy-sell recommendations and financial advice here on the bullion side of things. But yep, on balance of probability, possibly in for a little bit more downward movement in my non-financial advice opinion. But we'll pop in to the weekly and the daily, and we'll take a look at what the next price targets are. Again, these will be very quick videos, I think, because in the last couple of weeks I've done these TA Tuesday videos, and you've seen, if you have been watching previously, my targets moving higher and my targets moving lower. Nothing's really changed in terms of the targets, but in terms of what's happened in the last week, where is the trend going right now? That's kind of the big question. So, as we mentioned before, we had this test a few times, of the $1,800 level. It was a failed move, so we had a fast move to the downside. And in the last 7 days, the last few days since the last video, well, the last 7 days since the last video, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got to count the weekend where there is no trading. So we're hovering around about that 1760 level, and now we have gone all the way back down to $1,730. So we did break through my level here of 1,740, and we're kind of skirting around that. If I pop this onto the 4-hourly, let's have a look. Yep, okay. All right, so it is. So far, it's been an attempt to break out of this 1740 level of this trend line right here. We have broken out. It looks like it may have been a level of support roughly, but this is on the 4-hourly, so very, very sort of short-term stuff here. I would say that we need to pull out once again. Let's go back out to the weekly. Yeah, what you can see here, it's a double bottom right there, if you can see that. Let's move that. I don't want that. No, let's put that back, Joe. Right there. You didn't want to see that. And so you can see here, yeah, I got a double bottom. That's last week's bottom, and this is this week's bottom so far in the price. So definitely is about 1730 is a little line in the sand at the moment. But I do want to, again, I'll pull out to and I'll get rid of those. I'll pull out to the monthly. It's not looking great at the moment. There is definitely room to move down, in my humble opinion, and the line in the sand there, we're looking at, if we were to move down further, you've got that line in the sand of 1,680, but before then, you definitely need to break through right here on the monthly, this level of 1,720, of which we have yet to break down through. So again, back on the weekly, yet to break through there. So we're kind of in no man's land at the moment, I would say. I can't say definitely moving higher or definitely moving lower, but again, when you pop out to the monthly, and we'll also pop out to the 3 monthly as well, the trend is still currently down, but the big line in the sand is probably for me the 1,720 US dollar level. If we're breaking further down through there, I'm definitely going to say we're heading down and going to test again the 1680 level, and that's one, two in the last, what's that, since August of 2020. That's one test, two tests, three tests. Is the fourth test a charm? As I've said numerous times, the more times you knock on the door, the more likely the door is to open this time. So could fourth time be a charm if we come back down to 1720 in the next month or so? Let's see what happens. So that is my targets lower for gold, and you can pause the video for my targets moving higher. They have not changed, so you can just pause them right there. We've got $1,800 level, $1,850, and $1,920 in gold. As I said, going to keep it very, very short and sharp. Let's take a look at silver. Silver will pop out, you can see here, interesting, on the monthly time frame. Let's hit that particular level right there. Okay, so in the last few days, yep, and that's just happened yesterday. Fantastic. Okay, so we were hovering around about that sort of $20 level the last time that we did the video on Tuesday last week. We did not break through $20.80. That was a resistance level, and because it was a failed move to break above, we had a fast move to the downside. 1, 2, 3, 4, not including the weekend, 5, 6 red days, and I had this line previously drawn in at $18.80, and that was around about a level of support so far. Technically, on this particular chart, it has dropped to a low of $18.72. We can call it roughly $18.80. Are we heading lower, or are we moving up from here? Good question, but I definitely need to see $18.80 or this $18.72 mark remain as support. And if it is not, let's take a look at the weekly. And again, my targets moving lower and my targets moving higher are exactly the same. So nothing has changed for me. So this will be a very quick one on silver. Yep, if we break it down from here, it is Tuesday. So it's the start of a new trading week. So there is room to move down on the weekly. We've got a number of days till the end of the market for this week. You have a number of days to go. So 1880 is that line in the sand. Breaking below there, you're definitely going to come down to here as a level of support at 1820. And I will pop out to the monthly. And you can see here my lines in the sand for moving down in the next weeks if we were to do that. Maybe we spring back up. Again, we don't do financial advice here at Ainslie. But you can see my targets moving lower and my targets moving higher. So that is silver. As I told you, very, very quick. Let's take a look at Reserve. Here is Reserve. This is a crypto that I have actually personally been in for quite a while. Actually nearly, I think, 2 years, maybe a year and a half, 2 years. So what is it? An introduction to Reserve. Imagine a stable universal currency. That is what we are creating. So Reserve is a stable coin, it's a stable currency, and you can create your own stable coins. So basically, what they're trying to do is, in countries that are experiencing hyperinflation, they are creating an alternative to the USD. So far, we've achieved something close to this in Venezuela. We've created a digital currency, the Reserve Dollar, RSV, that maintains one-to-one parity with the US dollar, highly stable relative to the Venezuelan bolivar. As you know, or if you don't know, Venezuela has been going through a lot of hyperinflation recently and not so recently. So they have created the Reserve Dollar, RSV, maintains one-to-one parity with the US dollar, and a mobile app. Now, this is the great thing that makes it easy to store money in RSV. Again, it's one-to-one parity with the US dollar, You can get paid in RSV and you can pay for things in RSV at thousands of merchants that now accept RSV in Venezuela, or by converting RSV into bolivars within seconds. So it is maintaining their purchasing price by easily converting their bolivars into RSV instantly via the Reserve app, their phone app, which is available in Venezuela and a couple of other Latin American countries as well. And so it's a way they can escape the hyperinflation that's going on with the bolivar. So essentially, we extended the stability of the US dollar to those who faced hyperinflation in Venezuela in recent years, and we are expanding to other countries in Latin America where inflation continues to be a pressing issue. So they've moved into Argentina, as far as I'm aware, as well. So if you believe that hyperinflation is a big deal, if you think it's going to be a big deal in the future, if you think it's going to be a big deal with your currency, wherever you are in the world, then at least take a look at Reserve. And even if you don't think it's going to be a problem in your currency, well, Reserve is currently solving a problem in countries that are experiencing hyperinflation. So I think it's worth one to at least look at. Let's take a quick look at the investors into Reserve. And very notable investors. One is Peter Thiel. He was a seed investor into Reserve. Coinbase is also a seed investor into Reserve, and Sam Altman as well. If you have not heard of either of these three or any of these three, do your research on who Peter Thiel is, who Sam Altman is, and of course what Coinbase is. They are seed investors, heavily invested into Reserve, and Peter Thiel has talked about, and Sam has talked about how Reserve can help currencies experiencing hyperinflation. They are bullish on this, in my humble opinion. Again, please do your own research. I'm also bullish on this in the long term as well. So let's take a look at it on the price, with the price that is. Let's take a look at it right here, and I'll take it off there. Now, as you can see, there was a big blow off top. So this is in April of 2021. So it actually started out, this is on the Huobi exchange. So back in 2019, it was, micro pennies on the dollar, fractions of a penny on the dollar, and had a little bit of a rise back down. Now this was in March of 2020. What happened in March of 2020, of course, we all know what happened there. And a meteoric rise, a wonderful rise, all the way up to nearly about 12 cents per Reserve token. That is the RSR token right here, Reserve Rights RSR token. And since then, a hefty, very hefty, I'll put there we go, right there, the technical analysis right there, 97% down. So a lot of profit taking up at the 12-cent mark. And because people were getting in here, a lot of hype around Reserve around here. The people rode the hype, rode the wave, and a lot of people sold here. And that is, of course, their certainly their right to do so. But all the way down to, and this is the May crypto winter of May, or moving into winter, right down here, all the way back down to about 1/3 of a cent. Now, again, I am personally bullish in the long term on Reserve. So let's take a look at this on the weekly time frame and see what levels it has bumped up against. Now, I've used some Fibonacci analysis right here, just very simple stuff. I took it from this high back in February of 2020 and the low, the Black Swan event of March of 2020. And as you can see, it's actually lined up really quite well. You had a move up to the 6.854 and then a consolidation back to right smack bang on the 1.618 level, which wasn't even really a level of major resistance, at least on the weekly time frame. So a beautiful support level at the 1.618. And then look at that, just all the way. It's very perfect, pretty perfect right there. That is the 29.03 Fibonacci level, again, calculated from this old high and this old low. Another support level back here at the 4.236. And as you can see, another support level right there at the 2.618. And recently in May, almost all the way back down through the old high, actually, down to almost this, where are we? Almost the 50% Fibonacci level, the level right there. And you can see right now it is within a trading range, and there's a definite line in the sand if you can see that. And I'll pop that in. It's around about your 1.005 of a cent right there, around about 0.0055. And I'll pop that little horizontal line in, round about there. Let's call it, round about, yep, I'll call it around about there. Around about 0.0055 of 1 cent. US dollars, that is, of course, 1 US cent. So the other thing about the reserve protocol is, because it is a protocol, it is currently undergoing mainnet construction. Now, mainnet has actually been going on for quite a long time. Again, I'll get you to head over to reserve.org. That's reserve.org, and you can check out, I'll actually go back here and show you, and you can check out the protocol section and what mainnet is going to be all about. You can read the documents right there, but they're around about 96% complete. Still a little bit of a way to go. There's audits to go, etc. But once the mainnet is done, you'll be able to stake your RSR tokens and receive some, if you want to call it passive income or however you want to call that, that is up to you, but you are staking it for rewards in return. So I'll get you to head over to reserve.org. You can check out that, and we've checked out the price action. Again, the line in the sand for me is that 0.0055 roughly, and because the mainnet is coming up, I think it's worth taking a look into reserve currency, just because it's nearly complete. It probably still has a little bit to go. Maybe it could be 2-3 months, it could be longer. So just keep doing your research on RSR. All you do is you head over, if you're on Twitter, all you do is you just go the $ and RSR. Really easy if you're on Twitter, and you really should be if you're into cryptos. You just do RSR, and then you can look at the top recent posts. A lot of people posting about RSR. Of course, you're going to have your people who are just the shillers and all that sort of stuff. So you have to be able to wade through the junk, if you want to call it that. But there are some legitimate people who are really heavily invested into RSR. I'm one of them myself. I have a good chunk of my portfolio in RSR. Oop, don't worry about that one. But as I said, there's a lot of junk as well. But do your research on RSR. I think it's worth at least taking a look into. So that is gold, silver, and the crypto of the week for me, which was RSR. Next week, I will probably go back and have a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum. Of course, we have to stay on top of the big ones to see where they are going, because where they go, sort of the rest of the crypto world tends to follow. So we'll go back to Bitcoin or Ethereum next week. What I need you to do is also head over to the Discord channel. That's discord.gg/gold. If you want to be in a like-minded community, if you like gold, if you like silver, and if you like crypto as well, if you skirt both worlds, the discord.gg/gold, the Discord channel is the one to be in for sure. Very much like-minded individuals. And head over to goldsilverstandard.com, because that brings gold and silver into the digital world, the ultimate suite of fully backed digital assets made possible by Ainslie Bullion. Thank you very much. And one last plug for the Ainslie channel, youtube.com/Ainslie Bullion. That has been TA Tuesdays. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and we'll speak to you soon.